Hi students, we're doing 3-11 right now, and we're on page 95 in your fact sheet app. Looking at number 1, 2, and 3, there's going to be 3 division problems I'm going to go over, and these are the 3 different division problems you'll see on the next page, and you can practice with those. Let's look at the first one. We have 2 whole numbers in this one. 2 divided by 5. So a possible situation, you could have 2 divided by 5. You could have 5 friends that are going to divide 2 chocolate bars up. So we have Lucas, Gabriel, Paloma, Elijah, and Iris. It's 5 friends. And they're going to share 2 bars of chocolate evenly. How much chocolate does each friend get? So I'm going to take the 2 bars of chocolate and I'm going to cut them into the 5/5 so I can share them with the 5 friends. Remember, when I'm cutting something into fifths, I'm going to make 1 less line, so 4 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I divided this chocolate bar by 5, and I'm going to do the same down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to shade how much each friend will get. So Lucas would get that much. If I'm talking about this that's cut into fifths, he got 2 pieces of the fifth. So he's getting 2 fifths. And when you look at this division is the same as this line, okay? So this would just be 2 over 5. They would get a fraction of the whole part. The next type of division problem is when you start with a whole number and you divide it by a fraction. So I would think about a situation where I have 4 whole of something and I would divide them into parts. So in this situation, Anissa uses 1/3 of a yard of ribbon to tie a bow on presents. How many presents can she tie a bow on if she has 4 yards of ribbon? So here's my 4 yards of ribbon, and I'm going to cut this into thirds to see how many presents she can tie a bow on. So I'm going to do 2 cuts, and that's 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to do it all the way down. Okay, so this is her 4 yards of ribbon, and this is how much it takes to make 1 bow, 1/3 of a yard. So I'm going to count how many of those I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There would be 12 presents that she can tie a bow on. Now remember, when you're dividing fractions, the first thing you do is you take your problem and make sure it has numerator, denominator, divided by numerator over denominator. So here I have a whole number 4. I'm going to put that over 1, 4 over 1, and then 1/3 has a numerator and a denominator, so I'm okay there. And then I'm going to use keep, change, flip. So I'm going to keep the first one, 4 over 1, change, divide to multiply, and then flip or find the reciprocal of 1/3, which is 3 over 1. And then I just multiply straight across. 4 times 3 is 12 over 1. And 12 over 1 is the same as 12. Mr. A is in here and he just photobombed my video. But it's okay, I'm just going to keep going. Here's the last type of division problem. It's where you start with a fraction and you divide it into 2. So I'm going to think about a situation where I would have this. I have Evan, who has 1/4 of a pound of hamburger meat. And he's going to make hamburgers for Luke and himself. So I have to think, how many pounds of meat is in each burger? So I'm going to take the 1/4 of a pound. This is all Evan has. Evan just has, this is a whole pound, but he only has 1/4 of a pound. And I'm going to cut them into halves, or 2. So I'm going to cut it, this one into 2, this one into 2. And I would see, how many pieces do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 pieces. But the question says, how many pounds of meat does each burger have? He only did 2 burgers. So if this is 1/4, and I split them into 2, I'd have 1/8 in each. Okay. Now if I do this with numerically, I would do 1/4. Remember, I have to have, the first part has to have numerator over denominator and numerator over denominator. So I'm going to take my whole number, put it over 1, and then I'm going to use keep, change, flip. So I'm going to keep the first one, change, divide to multiply, and find the reciprocal of 2 over 1, which is 1/2. And I get my answer of 1/8. Now I want you to go to page 96 and try those problems.